Yes, man.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? It's me, Canon Mikho, aka Ocean Crash. Welcome to Before We Work. Now I got something a little bit special today. I don't usually do this, and it'd be pretty cool, I thought, to get this thing going. But I got my friend here, Mitch. We met in college. We're just gonna chill and talk about few topics. Kind of it's kind of great to discuss. I know with a lot of people in terms of the work cycle, and kind of just about how life goes. You know, waking up, going to work, and kind of finding ways to cool down. So, got a few questions, and again, it's my first time doing this, and it's his first time too. So it's gonna be kind of a don't get mad at me if it sucks. All right, so yeah, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, just kind of your name and what you do.
Yeah, guys. So my name's Mitch. I am a mechanical design engineer. Work here in Schaumburg. And I work in the telecom industry, designing enclosures for telecom radios and equipment that makes your cell phones go round and round.
Awesome. And then what caused you to want to go into engineering field?
I'd gotta say I wanted a challenge in life. I knew I can do a lot of things in life, and I knew if I could really just put my mind to it, I can do anything I wanted to. And
yeah.
I wasn't always the smartest kid in school, so I always just wanted to prove myself that I can do things and I can be right there with the other guys.
Did your dad have anything to do with it? Because I know he's a licensed carpenter. So did you did that anyway bring up building? Because I know for me it kind of did too. You know, my creative side comes from my dad. And the cars, you know, I love working on cars. Did your dad have anything to do with you wanting to go into engineering?
Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, with my dad being a carpenter, he's always doing projects around the house, and you know, he really got me into it. You know, using power tools and hand tools, redoing projects, you know, the whole 9 yards. And so, you know, from a young age, he started, you know, not pressuring, but you know, putting it in our ears, like, hey, you know, you can go to college and you know, design this stuff instead of build it.
Yeah, my dad did the same thing, yeah.
And you can make a lot of money. So I was like, you know, why not?
Did you help your dad around the house with a lot of carpentry stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know I did that too growing up, so I can relate to that on a level. Is not taking your dad's advice and kind of moving forward with that, is kind of like the engineering life what you expected it to be, like post graduation? Is it kind of the flow and the systems? Were you kind of did you expect it to be this way? Were you a little caught off guard? You thought it was going to be harder? Or just content with it?
You know, I'm honestly what I thought it would be like. I thought I'd be just lost in the crowd, but
yeah.
I work at a pretty small company, but it's basically, it was private, but they just got bought out.
Yeah.
But because it was so private and small, your managers tended to really especially in the engineering department, they tend to watch you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And they're with you, so you know they can help you, and so because of that, and because of the way that our companies run, it's a very fast-paced environment.
Yeah.
So you're constantly doing projects and checking other people's work and reporting to managers and, you know, designing new things, sustaining other things, like products. And so it really gets to be a lot. And our business is actually doing too good right now.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, it's really good and really bad because, you know, our customers aren't happy with lead times.
Yeah.
You know. So
too much work, not enough workers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where our plants are at, there's not a lot of help, you know.
Do your bosses? Do you ever get that feeling? Because I know I had that feeling when I was kind of more so working in house, not so working remote. But did you ever get that feeling that your boss is kind of hovering over your desk and you have to kind of stay focused? Otherwise, your boss would be like, "What are you doing, Mitch? Come on, get on." Mm-hmm. Did you have that? Do you ever get that feeling?
Yeah, all the time. But I read in an article actually that our generation has this fear across the whole workforce that if we call in sick, we should feel guilty. If we're not performing to our best, we should feel guilty.
So more of the traditional mindset that's kind of traditionally, we're very kind of like traditionally, the workforce is suit and tie, go to work, you know, get stuck in a cubicle, can't take much days off, and I think more modern now is kind of like how my brother is at Groupon. It's unlimited PTO. You can come to work in a t-shirt and flip flops. You know,
right.
It's a very much that's more modern. So do you think like your company's more like traditional?
Oh, very traditional.
Traditional, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have to go to work in a suit and tie or?
Not a suit and tie, but it's business casual.
Business casual, so more like t-shirt or dress shirt and kind of jeans.
Dress shirt and khakis.
Khakis.
Slacks.
Gotcha.
But there are other workers that they just don't care what they look like, so they'll just wear anything.
I think, and I've always had this opinion, kind of more so with my brother's field, and I would say with your field as well. Kind of with my field, not really. I feel like people who are in the more kind of like creative design, kind of creation aspects of the field, I think they should be allowed to kind of like work however they want. Because like imagine telling someone, hey, be creative, but we're going to restrict you physically by requiring you to wear a suit, requiring you to wear a tie, requiring you to wear dress shoes. It's like some people just aren't comfortable doing that. You should, especially if you want to have a creative individual, I feel like there shouldn't be any boundaries on like how they can feel. Because most people, they feel a lot more comfortable when they're in the whatever environment or dressing up they're doing to, you know, create what they need. And I feel like it's just hindering quality unnecessarily. Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way, but it'd be pretty cool if I wore jeans or shorts every day.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Now, so you get up, you're getting ready to go to work. You know, you got a big day. What does your morning routine look like? What do you usually do?
My morning routine.
Yeah.
Well, I wake up at 5:30 or maybe 5. I wake up at 5, and right off the bat, I don't get up for a whole hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of sleep there in and off. You know, my body doesn't really let me sleep, and I got numerous health problems I'm working through right now, so it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But I usually sleep there and then get up, use the bathroom, you know, take a shower, pour the coffee and get dressed.
Coffee.
Yeah. Well, I don't drink the coffee until I get to the office.
All right. I mean, you know, I'm a huge advocate of coffee. You know that. You know that.
Oh man, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and your coffee.
And
shop.
any podcasts you listen to? Any take the lights out in the morning?
Let me tell you, I am not a morning person.
You're not?
So, you know, I keep the volume at a certain level in my car, and lately it's just, you know, it's the lowest setting, and it's just like so loud. So I just turn it down. It's just like I'm done with the radio in the morning.
So more so, what advice would you give to people who aren't morning people? Is it just kind of like go back to sleep, or is it like
people who aren't morning people?
My advice for morning people is go back to sleep.
If you can go back to sleep, go back to sleep, because you'll wake up 2, 3, 4 hours later feeling great, and you'll have a great day. But if you can't, if you got to go to work, you know, if you like coffee, drink your coffee. If you like tea, drink your tea. If you get your energy from something else, if you work out in the morning and that's how you wake up naturally, or if you drink, you know, smoothie or eat fruit, you know, or, you know, for a while there I was just drinking water in the morning and I would just wake up like that.
Yeah. I feel like it changes every now and then. Like, I know for the longest time for me, it was waking up, having my cup of coffee and sitting outside for half an hour to an hour. Just sitting outside and just like chilling, you know, letting the, you know, the natural sunlight kind of get into my skin, because, you know, natural vitamin D deficiency, you know, we both went through that. So I just, for me, it worked for so long, and then after a while I was like, I only want to be outside for like 15 minutes and then I want to go inside. So I feel like it changes morning routine, you know, for everyone, you know.
It really does.
Yeah.
I usually somewhere between the time I wake up and get out of bed, I usually call my dog up to the bed and she lays there with me.
Yeah.
And I do let her out in the morning just before I leave for work. That way the 9 hours I'm gone aren't that bad for her.
Yeah.
You know, leave some treats out for her dental bone.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I don't know, man.
Awesome.
I don't do much in the morning.
Yeah.
I realize that after talking to some coworkers. Some coworkers, like, they get up at 4, I think it is, and they have a routine all the way up until they're at their desk at like 7:30. That's
the Navy routine. There's this guy that kind of was an advocate on YouTube. He's a Navy SEAL, and he released this video about how people should wake up at 4:30 a.m. It's what they teach them in the Navy. So he just made this video, and all of a sudden it became like a trend for people to wake up at 4:30 a.m. And it's kind of like, it's something that's spoken about a lot. And I sometimes wake up 4:30 a.m. especially because of the trying to get my sleep schedule ready for the business. I have to be open at 6 a.m. So it's like kind of have to get my body ready to drive an hour. So it's gonna be kind of interesting, but awesome. Now you've gone to work. You went through your morning routine. You've gone to work, and it sucked ass. And you're just like, you get home and you're stressed. What do you do? What tips do you have or advice to people who come home from work and they literally have no stress management routines? Like, what advice do you have for people who are in those situations?
No stress management routines?
Yeah.
Like you come home and this is how you de-stress?
They have nothing to stress out. Like, it's just, they're always stressed and they have nothing to kind of like help them. Like, no video games. Like, what would you recommend for people who come home stressed?
Oh, man. Well, I definitely wouldn't say have a drink, because that's not what I would do.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say, try to just take a minute to breathe and relax and put your mind at ease and try to think about something else, so then you can start thinking about what you can do instead of just sitting there being stressed.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. For me, my biggest issue working remote is, how they usually say it's nice because when you're in an office and you're stressed, you kind of can like pull away from work and go home and relax. Mm-hmm. I know my issue for me was that I worked at home. Yeah. So it's like I can't go home to relax because my work's at home and my stress is at home. So I always was going to coffee shops. I would come over to your guys' house a lot. Yeah. Right. And it was just like kind of a stressful environment for me. And I think the best thing, in my opinion, is kind of like hang out with people that you're like you're chill with. You hung out with Mickey a lot and me a lot and Kevin. When you had rough days. I think not just about work, but in general. So I think just like hanging out with people you love, and you have Eliza too. So it's like you can just chill with Eliza if you're stressed. Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that they've got family. They've got people, friends. So I think that's a good thing too.
A key thing for those of you that do work remotely from home, a key thing, if you do work from home and you don't go to a coffee shop or somewhere in the public, is that you should not be working where you sleep. Yeah, that's like the absolute like number one no, because now you're bringing stress into your bed, because you're going to sleep in your bed and you're looking at your desk and you're like, fuck, I gotta work in the morning.
Yeah, no, I completely, I can relate to that. Yeah, that's huge. It's definitely huge. What advice would you give people who are still in college? So say Mitch, sophomore year of college or freshman year of college, what advice would you give to people in those situations?
Drop out. Don't do it.
You know what? I think like people like Gary Vaynerchuk, he's I'm not sure if have you heard of him?
No, I haven't.
Social entrepreneur, started his own marketing firm called Vayner Media. He's an advocate for advertisements, primarily only on social media, and not a huge advocate for advertisements on TV. But he talks about how college is dead, and it's America's kind of like marketing scheme. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like America. He calls it America's brand. Yeah. That it's not required for everyone. And he said what kind of happened is that lower class to middle class people and foreigners came to this country, and they sold it as the American dream to get a college degree, and that's all everyone ever chased. And he talks about how it's completely pointless. Like, it's not necessarily, unless you want to be like a doctor or like a lawyer, you know, where it's required, or a police officer mandated by law, Right. But he talks about that a lot, but I think I can resonate with that too. I think, I to be honest with you, I wouldn't have went to college either. I can agree with you on that. The main reason I did it was for my foreign parents, because they were such an advocate for education, and they worked so hard, and it was the number one thing they wanted for us, coming to America. So I can correlate with that as well. Any other advice? Anything else?
With that whole American college scheme, if you can go to community college, do it.
Huge one up. Definitely.
Like if you can do 3 or 4 years at a community and like a year at a college, depending on the field you're going into, it's so huge.
How much was NIU? Was what, $300 per credit? Yeah, it was like.
I don't even know. I just kind of slept through college.
I think it was like $900 per class. You're taking 5 classes a semester. That's all. That's $4,500. At community college, it's usually $100 a credit hour, so it's about $300 a class.
Yeah.
So you're saving about 66%, you know, going to community college. And the biggest thing is you get out of high school, and what's the number one thing that comes in your mind? I want to go to a state school with my friends, or you know, or do this, or I want to party, and you can save 2 years of your life. If you want to go to college, you can save 2 years of your life going to a community college and saving so much money. I obviously didn't do that. I made a mistake. My brother didn't do it, and
I'm
I can't.
not his brother.
Yeah. I don't know if you can agree too. Is that something you would have done too?
I would have went to community college.
Yeah, I think
mean,
so too.
I honestly, like, though, like, my best friends are all from college, so on that note, I'd probably say no, but,
Yeah,
you know, from
I
a
feel you.
financial standpoint, go to community college.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then lastly, to wrap up this little shindig we got going here, what advice would you give to people who lack motivation to work? So say you get to work, you can't work, man. You have no motivation to do anything. What would you do? What advice would you give for people who lack motivation to work?
Find a new job.
Find a new job.
Find a new job.
That's huge. Yeah.
If you're not happy at work, then what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if you're not pushing yourself, or if you're not content, you know, it doesn't make sense to stay.
Yeah,
Unless you're getting paid like money, and your managers just don't care that you're not working.
Yeah.
If you're in that situation, then you better stay.
Yeah, just don't work, man. Yeah, I know. I went through the same thing too. Just kind of like didn't have motivation at work, and you know, I left. You know, I didn't like the company, so I wasn't happy, and I just didn't work. So, and I feel like that's kind of a situation we have too. I feel like it's more so a problem with older people, like with our parents. You know, more older people, older generation, where they are reluctant to kind of move and job hop.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you have people that are like, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, you've got people who are so happy that they wasted 35 years of their life working for a company that's paying them $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, and,
pretty bad.
Yeah, and they're all happy and stuff, and it's like, why are you happy, dude? Like, wipe the smile off your face. You could have hopped 7 jobs by now, 10 jobs by now, and be making way more than 40K, over 100K. So I think that I've witnessed that with my family. My dad in particular, very hard worker, but more so with the mentality that I'd rather stay in my job for as long as I can and create a reputation for myself, and that will allow me to grow, rather than saying, hey, my company doesn't give a shit about me, they're just trying to make money. I should find another job that will give me that 20% increase in salary, you know, a year and a half, 2 years down the line, and then not have to stress out about, oh, I didn't perform well this year, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, you know. I mean, even CEOs and CMOs and CFOs, they do that too. So I think it's definitely a huge trait. But yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, though sometimes it is hard to switch.
What is up, guys? It is your boy Canon and Mikho, aka Ocean Crash, and just cut to the items.